Welcome to my channel. This is in Central Florida, Buford Springs sinkhole, and as you can see where the light is going into, that's the entrance, and I'm excited. That darkness, that blackness that you see is the actual uh, cavern, and there's some divers out there, and you can kind of see a little bit as you go in, but once you go in the cavern, it gets real dark, real fast, and it goes real deep. When I'm talking about real deep, I'm talking about 80 feet. So here we go as I descend, and I'm using my doubles there. That line that you see there is a line that will help people when they do their descent and ascent. The free divers go up and down in case they get passed out, because once it goes down to 80 feet, it slowly goes in a horizontal slant, goes downwards, down to 150, 160 feet. Now, I didn't go that deep, but as you can see, I'll show you what ends up happening here as I go deeper and deeper. And you get deep. It goes to 80 feet, it goes straight down to 80 feet, then it drops out and it does a slow descent. Now you can see I'm all the way down. You can see just the light coming in. Absolutely beautiful shot. And how you can see how the water is just crystal clear. Now what I'm doing here is I'm seeing the line, and yeah, as you can see how dark it gets. And basically the cavern just pretty much swallows you. Now I can see there is some overhead obstruction at this point, and there's that bottom line. And you can see, it's up above. I can see where the light is coming behind. But of course, there's a huge, massive cave that's beckoning me to come in. And it is so scary. I cannot tell you how scary this thing is. But that's why we do the diving. Now, of course, I'm a technical diver. I have a redundant air supply, which means I have two different air supplies that are separate from each other, independent of each other. And I have two separate regulators. So in case something happens, I have my buddy. And here I am at the bottom. You can see this beautiful peak. It's just absolutely so peaceful, so serene, and so crystal clear. Now this is the part where it got really scary really fast, because I went ahead and I wanted to see how deep I could go. What I didn't realize was this thing called nitrogen narcosis, which is when you start getting dizzy underwater. When you start getting dizzy at 140 feet, that's a bad situation to be in. And as you can see behind me, there it is. That's the opening, right? It's easily to get disoriented and get lost, especially when you have an overhead obstruction above you. So that's the thing. Saw a little bit of this little snail there, and you can see that the opening just looks green. And of course, I've done much penetration with it, because what ended up happening is, uh, I went in on the first day. I went in and I went down 140 feet. Thankfully, there was somebody there that helped me find the way out. Otherwise, I would have been killed very easily. The second day, I wanted to face my fear, so I went back the next day, and I just stayed at 80 feet just to get experience with it, just to get a little bit more familiar with it. It's still, even though, I mean, it's a serene feel. I mean, it's a beautiful feel. As you can see, there's the cavern. You see how deep it goes in, and what it ended is I had went in and I had penetrated further into it. And you can go deep. It goes deep really fast, but when you start getting disoriented, you start panicking, you die. So that's the thing. I'll never do that again. I only did it once. I'll never do that again. So from this point forward, I'm not going in without tying a line. Okay, this is where I made a mistake here. Here I was doing the penetration, as you can see, the entrance. That light behind me is where the entrance is. And as you can see, how it just kind of just gets smaller and smaller and smaller. And even though I could see the entrance, when you're down that deep, you start experiencing the effects of nitrogen narcosis, and you don't have a line. Even though you can see the entrance, it's a very dangerous, dangerous situation to be in. Like I said, it was a one-time thing, and I learned my lesson. I'll never do that again. But as you can see, I just got sucked into it. And at this time, I was thinking, I'm like, man, this is beautiful. I didn't really realize the effects. Everything was good. I had plenty of air, full of air. This is like basically the first 5 minutes into the dive. So I'm looking back at the rope, and I'm like, I'm only about 20 feet off the rope. I'm off balance. I'm telling you, God was with me. Jesus was with me on this thing. Otherwise, I would have been killed. There was a guy that happened to have been doing his getting familiarization on his non-rebreather, and he was down there, and he helped me, get the hell out of there. But like I said, it's everybody makes a mistake, right? But you never make the same mistake twice. This is the first time and last time I will do something like this. But like I said, you can see how dark it is there and how easy it is, even with lights, even with all the equipment that I had, how you can just get disoriented. Basically, what I'm doing at this point is, now that I knew where the way back was, I'm just slowly going back. When you're going down that deep, you don't want to just swim straight to the surface. Otherwise, you can get this thing called the bends, and you can end up messing yourself up. So you don't want to get bent, is what they call it in the industry. You want to just come up nice and slow, and you want to give time for your body to decompress, to get the nitrogen out of your system, so you don't just surface way up. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm doing a slow ascent back to the surface. Of course, the way the light hits the water and the way the cavern is just illuminated with that green glow, it just looks absolutely beautiful. And I'll tell you, it looks peaceful. It is peaceful. The only thing is, because it's from the water is from the aquifer. There we go. There we go. The water is very, very cold. And what I was trying to do here is I was trying to, get a picture of myself with the light in the background, which is kind of hard to do when you don't have a cameraman. But I did the best I could. So again, after that near-death experience, the first thing I wanted to do was I wanted to go back and face my fear, and I want to go back and make sure I do it again. However, this time I was going to be a lot more careful, not get off the line, not go in any kind of intrusion, and make sure I stay right where the entrance was, which was fine by me. And I needed the experience to get a little bit more familiar with everything anyway. Number one. Number two, I'm out there by myself. I mean, technically not by myself because there were other divers in the water. However, they weren't with me. And, just get familiar with everything. Now, what you're seeing in the bottom over here is I'm doing this second descent. It's just a bunch of rocks and some snails, as you can see. All that stuff isn't snails. But it's mostly rocks is what it is. And you can see as I go deeper. Of course, this is I'm coming down and seeing the cavern. That is actually going in, penetrating. And like I said, I was not going to be doing any of that. I was going to be staying right where I was. I like being close to the entrance. And I'm at 80 feet right now, so I wanted to burn through a lot of air, which was fine. I stayed down there and just enjoyed like the scenery. I mean, it's just absolutely beautiful anyway. And I really enjoyed it. Not a lot to see, but rocks. But it's just the fact that it was one of the most fun experiences of my life because it's just so peaceful in there and it's so exciting. I mean, it's so cool to be inside a cavern or a cave. Technically, it's not a cave, but it's a cavern. But it's just beautiful. While I was down there, I was doing a lot of thinking and meditation. And if you're down there and you're by yourself, I mean, the thought of death will cross your mind at some point. I don't care who you are. I don't care how tough you are. And you just have to just relax and not panic. Realize, knowing what you're doing, realize that there's nothing to be afraid of but fear itself. It's dark. It is dark, but there's nothing there. There's literally nothing there. Just snails and fish. You might see like a bass. They'll come and like look at you or something, but they don't care. I mean, it's just there's nothing to be afraid of, and just embrace the beauty and peacefulness of it, the zen of nature, the beauty of nature, and that's what I learned when I went down there. I mean, it just the quietness, this peaceful. These rocks have been around for millions of years. This place has been around for millions of years, and yet I was a part of it. I was able to capture that moment, to capture that experience, and be able to share it with you. And this is something to where I'll definitely do it again. You know, I won't, like I said, I won't do the penetration part of it, but I'll definitely go down there and be on the entrance and hang out and take pictures, and I enjoyed it. I just love how the light just shimmers through the water like that, and you can see that just beautiful green, glow. It's just absolutely beautiful. I love it, and I had such an enjoyable time taking the pictures. It's so serene there, man. It's indescribable. Beautiful yet deadly. Never underestimate these caverns and caves. They are no joke. They're beautiful, but you want to respect them. There goes a bass swimming around. Of course, this is my fourth or fifth dive within the 2 day time period, and of course, I'm hanging out on the entrance. Like I said, I learned real quick on day one, and I just loved hanging around near the entrance and just seeing the beauty of the caves and just enjoying the beauty of it. Always something new to see, and just kind of pretending like I was back in one of the. It reminded me of those tombs in Egypt when I went to Egypt and I saw the tombs, how they're laid out. I mean, just kind of similar. And also in visiting the ancient city of Petra in Jordan, they have similar types of caverns and caves over there. So it was just really cool. These are some of the pictures that I took while I was over there of the rope that was coming down and of myself. And like I said, it's a fun experience. I definitely enjoyed it. Well, I appreciate you watching my video. Hope you enjoyed it. And doing something that not everybody's going to do, go inside a cave deep underwater. Look at that catfish over there. And enjoy. Thanks for watching.